Hear ye, hear ye. Welcome to our off-off Flatbush revival of the Battle of Brooklyn, a farce of two acts. My name is Dylan Yates, and it is my great honor to be the scholar in residence here at the Old Stone House. First, I want to thank the patriot martyrs slayed on this hallowed ground for being such good sports about this. Second, I want to thank Kim Mayer, Madeline Wall, Maggie Weber, Emily Grimes, Catherine Gressel, and everyone else who helps the Old Stone House live up to the charge of the site that it occupies. Be sure to check out their, Please be sure to check out their new contemporary art exhibit upstairs entitled State of the Nation, a BIPOC artist perspective, curated by Jeremy Dennis. Third, I want to thank our great friends at Fort Hamilton Distillery for generously providing us with their delicious Battle of Brooklyn inspired gin. And finally, I want to thank my incredible cast, band, and crew, as well as you, the audience, for making my dreams come true. Thank you. Please do join us after the show at the American Legion, just 2 blocks south on 5th Ave between 6th and 7th Street for free Luigi's Pizza and a cash bar. The play you're about to see was written a quarter millennium ago by a Brooklyn Loyalist to mock the first and largest battle of the American War for Independence that happened right here. The Battle of Brooklyn was the first battle of the War of Independence because it was the first battle fought after the United States declared independence from Great Britain on the 4th of July, 1776. When the British landed at Gravesend a few weeks later to take their colony back, Washington dispatched his old friends, William General Alexander of New Jersey, Lord Sterling, which MS-51 is named for, and General John Sullivan of New Hampshire, to defend the newly declared nation's most important port city. The shooting actually began in Simon Bergen's watermelon patch on 36th Street and 3rd Avenue, when an American patrol encountered British scouts at 1 a.m. on August 26, 1776. In response, Sterling led 3,000 Continentals to confront twice that number of British regulars at the Red Lion Inn on the corner of Gowanus Road and Martense Lane, now in Greenwood Cemetery. And Sullivan led a similar number to confront the Hessians at Flatbush Pass, which is now in Prospect Park. But the British humiliated and outsmarted the Americans by simply taking King's Highway over to Bushwick and then back down Atlantic Ave to attack Sterling and Sullivan's troops from behind. British troops under General Charles Cornwallis took this stone house at 10 a.m., which after fleeing Americans lit the bridges across the Gowanus on fire, stranded their fellow countrymen. Surprised and surrounded, Sullivan gave up immediately and tried to strike a deal. Sterling, on the other hand, fought like a wolf, according to Cornwallis. He personally led 400 Marylanders to charge this house over and over again, dozens of men falling with each push. This distracted the British and bought just enough time for the thousands of American troops stranded across what is now Park Slope to swim across the Gowanus to safety. Once the bulk of the Americans were safe, Sterling led his men up the hill into the park to surrender to a regiment of hegemons, despite the reputation for cruelty, so as to deny any British officer this satisfaction. In the face of this stunning defeat, Washington decided to pull the remaining troops back to Manhattan, the first of many strategic retreats that enabled the American victory 7 years later. The real Battle of Brooklyn was notable for incredibly poor planning, but also heroic creativity. And the play Battle of Brooklyn represents a different sort of cunning. This play was written in the immediate aftermath of the battle and supposedly performed at the new King's Head Tavern Officers Club at Brooklyn Ferry. The anonymous author was likely someone who had helped the Americans in the battle, but subsequently wanted to assert their loyalty to the crown, much like the character that I play, Sterling's attendant, Joe King. Joe King is just your average Joe from Kings County, and he supports the king and is taking to Joe King. Occupied Brooklyn in the fall of 1776 was horrific. The British ransacked and seized the homes of suspected rebels and sent sympathizers to freeze to death on prison ships in Wallabout Bay. In this farce, Joe King seems to be trying to explain to an audience of British officers that whatever role he played for the Americans, he always knew their independence game was a scam. Perhaps the more he mocked the American cause, the better the British would treat him. When I stumbled upon this play, I couldn't believe it wasn't better known. But then I read it. It was nearly unintelligible, but also clearly an incredible document that, like the battle, deserves to be better understood. So I cut out all the confusing elements. mostly Anglican jokes about Presbyterians, so that the rest could shine. I also added a narrator for clarity, but did not alter any of the words the characters say. And as part of this commitment to historical accuracy, since this play was performed at a tavern in wartime, we've decided not to completely memorize our lines, and we will be reading from these reproduction scripts. This play questions the Founding Fathers' commitments to their claims that all men were created equal, with unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. However, the play completely ignores what we have since come to understand as the central paradox of a nation founded both on the principles of freedom and the realities of racial slavery. To address this absence, especially given that Brooklyn, like the rest of America, was a slave society in 1776, we decided to add a new non-speaking character, Billy Lee, Washington's enslaved valet. I think that this play is historically important and hilarious. It mocks the founding of a nation many of us are rightly frustrated with. But it's also only really funny because the founding ideals of this nation are so embraced so deeply by the people of this country, even though they remained unfulfilled in practice. This play reminds us that deep and irreconcilable divisions have plagued this land for centuries, but that sometimes wry creativity and a well-made joke can make a bad situation just a little bit better. So with that, we present The Battle of Brooklyn, a farce of two acts. Here we find Lord Sterling and his local attendant, Joe King, at an apartment in Brooklyn Heights. Washington had befriended Sterling during the French-Indian War and made him a general as soon as the War for Independence began.
Joe! Honest Joe! Oh, damn that fellow! Where can this king be?
Why, here, my lord. Devil damn me, sir. Pray, who do you damn so?
Oh, my dear Joe, the cares that distract and split this poor head of mine.
Split? Yes, by heaven. You drank enough last night to split the head of an Indian.
Oh, insolence! In future, know me for your master. Your lord.
I must hold a candle to this devil. I ask your pardon, sir. I meant no harm. You know I am given to joking, and you formerly encouraged me in it.
Oh, forgive me, honest Joe. The public cares so hang upon me that they quite destroy my constitutional good humor. The British regulars are near to us every moment. We expect them over the hills.
Well, but your lordship has so long and so uniformly wished to meet them that I would think the nearer the prospect, the better you would have been pleased. You will no doubt split and roast and pickle these redcoat fellows.
Oh, we are to meet them this day to determine in council what to do with them. I am for surrounding. Surround is the word with me. If there were 20 times the number, I say surround them all. But these graves, Joe, my canteens are empty. Go to the commissary and get my canteens filled. And by all means, my good Joe, read home when I return.
Canteens filled. And then thy whole soul will be in thy canteens. That is, if he has credit enough with the commissary to fill them. And yet this most ignoble man is the chosen vessel to execute the Lord's work? Ill-fated country, when will this delusion end? Here we find Noah, General John Sullivan's attendant, at Gowanus Heights, awaiting the British assault. Colonel Henry Remsen from Queens approaches.
Oh, heaven! He's wounded and out of his senses. Colonel Remsen, can you speak?
Oh, dear God. Oh, what merciful escape I get this time. Gentlemen, have you seen my regiment?
No. Where did you leave it? Lord help us. How near is the enemy?
Oh, God. Oh, God, oh, God. Come the blood out of me in any place?
Blood? No. Nor can I see anybody coming after you. Your hurt, I fancy, is fear, Colonel. Your wound must be sought for in your breeches. Compose yourself. That's what has happened.
Well, I will tell you then. I was, yes now, on the head of my regiment, close up behind Sean Van Dinen's field. I keep my eye up Arian Mortis Lane. I see it. Just by the ground, something creep. I say, my regiment, take care of yourself, boys. They began for the run. My horse see the danger too. He carried me off. God, no, I get here. I believe the rest is all killed. Taken prisoners?
Killed? No, nor any of them hurt, except for 4 or 5 that you rode over. Why? There was not a British regular within a mile when you took fright. Oh, you ungodly coward!
Here we find Elizabeth Phillips Gates, the wife of one of Washington's most trusted generals, and her chambermaid, Betty, in a room in Brooklyn Heights. Loyalist newspapers reported that Congressman Benjamin Harrison procured prostitutes for Washington.
After council, ma'am, General Gates will wait of you. Till then, he begs your patience, as the time is near that he is to meet the rest of the generals.
Oh, council! A pretty collection of councillors indeed. But since it must be so, you shall give me the narrative of Harrison and your general, my sweet chambermaid. It will beguile the time.
$50 in hard ones too, with a promise of 50 times as much, was irresistible. But oh, the nasty beast. I almost puke at the recollection. Harrison is such a slobbering, odious, unsavory, smelling creature that I wonder how any woman in the world could sleep a night by his side.
And yet you see, that $50 hard made you put up for a night with all the inconveniency of bad smells.
A night? Your ladyship wrongs me very much. Why, Harrison snored within an hour. And the first snore was a signal for my retreat. Because I am sure I should have been a corpse if I had been obliged to stay the night.
And yet, there your affairs ended with Harrison, did they not, Betty?
Yes, my lady, for when Harrison found I could not abide him, he proposed to introduce me to General Washington. The general was a very pretty gentleman, and I consented to it on purpose to get rid of Harrison. The general is the sweetest, meekest, melancholy gentleman, and then he's such a warrior. Oh, ma'am, I shall always love the general.
And among his other qualifications, the most liberal.
Why, my lady, I will tell you honestly, His Excellency gave me a $30 bill. Now, he assured me it would have been more, but that he was obliged to repay Harrison the $50 hard that he had given to me first. Now, ma'am, is not Harrison a dirty fellow in every shape that you can view him in?
Ooh, no great things, girl, to be sure, from your account of him. Neither is your meek, melancholy hero Washington, from my own observations.
Lord, ma'am, did Washington not order the case flames to be pulled down and the head cut off? For God's sakes, ma'am, what would you have of a hero?
My dear Betty, None but a little-minded barbarian would have suffered the arts to be trampled underfoot as he did in the case of the king's statue. Oh, dear husband Horatio, that you should sully your laurels in the abominable cause of Republican tyrants and smugglers in power. To be eradicated for such miscreants, it almost distracts me.
Here we find Generals Washington, Sterling, and Sullivan in a council atop Cobble Hill, a command center so named because it was elevated by cobblestones.
Gentlemen, spies from Flatbush inform that the regulars are making a disposition to cross the hills near that place. Lord Sterling, with his usual intrepidity and precision, has reconnoitered their numbers, which he finds to be about 7,000. General Sullivan has appointed the hill with exquisite judgment, where the brigades under him and Lord Sterling are to act as occasion may require. 12,000 men are allotted for service of sending them back to their ships. I, with 8,000, will stay within these lines, unless our present deliberations alter this plan of operation. My lord, the council expects your opinion.
I rise to give it to the most respectable and most puissant council of general officers that this ever produced. I am for surrounding them, and when we have got them hemmed in, I am led for sending them to our noble commander-in-chief, who knows what to do with them.
A pompous, flimsy, drunken fool. His lordship's ideas are exceedingly surrounding. I hope the practice may be as easy as the theory, but their numbers may exceed 7,000 or may not. But if the council holds the opinion of General Washington and myself, our deliberations are at an end, and we cannot be too soon at our different posts.
Well then, I am for my post. Gentlemen, farewell.
Now, a little sober reasoning, General Sullivan. My apprehension from the king's troops, believe me, are trifling compared with the risk we run from the people of America at large. The tyranny that our accursed usurpation has made necessary, I fear, will soon make them see through the disguise. Their rage, no doubt, will be heightened by the slaughter that will probably ensue, and we as members of the Congress will fall the first victims of it. O'Sullivan, my heart never consented to this ruin of my native country.
My dear General, the moments for reflection are elapsed and irreconcilable. Our safety is the first thing we should worry about in our conquest. If that is denied to our endeavors, I am sure that we can obtain better terms from our much injured sovereigns than we can from a more injured country.
Our soldiers are a standing miracle to me. They resign their thinking to us in a case where there is all at stake, and do not yet discover that we make them the engines of our power at the expense of all that is dear and sacred to them as men. Our hope, my dear Sullivan, is in you. Every command of ground is ours with a perfect knowledge of all the woods. These advantages double the strength of our men.
If we cannot defend these, I know of no place we can.
All things that depend on me will, I hope, meet your approbation. I shall aim to infuse such sentiments into the troops that our next meeting may be ushered in with greetings of congratulation. Till then, my dear General, farewell.
Greetings of congratulation? Could I congratulate myself on finding my lost peace of mind? On the restoration of my honor? Cursed ambition, what have I sacrificed to thee? Whoa, bless me. So late, and my engagements to a lady not complied with.
Here we find General Sterling and his attendant king in position at Guanas Heights at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hello, General Sterling, hello.
Oh, God, for God's sakes, what's the matter?
Your Lordship, there's been a great deal of shooting by the Red Lion Inn.
Wait, shooting? Wait, which way did it come from?
Bergen awakened me. He said there was a shooting in his field.
Oh, God bless me. Wait, shooting in his field? Was it near the house?
Very near. So I stole out, for I knew the road, dark as it was. Everything was still, as if nothing had happened, but I could hear the groans of dying men at little distance. I have not heard or seen anything else.
Oh, so what are their numbers?
Well, they were not 50, or there would have been some sound.
Oh, damn it. 'Tis nothing but a scouting party. Come, we will take a whistle from my canteens. It is a devilish raw morning, and I must have something to keep the cold out.
Sterling and Sullivan in a hill above Gowanus Creek at around noon.
Well, my lord, will you make a disposition for your favorite scheme of surrounding?
Oh, for God's sake, dear General, don't mention it. I did not expect them this way.
Let 4 brigades immediately take post in the bottom and extend as far as the stone house on the left. If they should force these brigades to the hill, we can easily maintain this post against the united force of Britain without loss and make retreat to our lines when we please, unmolested.
Ooh, the regulars are nearly up to them. You'll see. They'll push directly, General.
I see they do push, but it is with their bayonets. All our men are scampering towards us.
Ooh, dear General, what shall we do now?
There's nothing to obstruct us in the rear, my lord. We could retreat in good time.
Oh, lost! Oh, Lord, undone, ruined, destroyed.
Amazement. What ails this man?
In the rear, there, in our rear, the regulars. Oh, there's no retreat. No retreat! Oh, General Sullivan! General Sullivan! What do you think of it now?
I think that we heaven-born generals are apt to lead our troops to the devil.
But my dear General Sullivan, what shall we do?
Just do as you please. Every man is now his own general, so, gentlemen, farewell.
Oh, Lord, incline their hearts to mercy. I hope that we are not of a consequence to be hanged.
Soon to be joined by King, in a room at Brooklyn Heights after the American retreat across the Gowanus Creek.
Well, notwithstanding your dirty condition, Mr. Noah, I congratulate you on your safe arrival to your old quarters. Neither holed by musket balls, nor swelled up with salt water and creek mud. Thanks to my activity, I am not crab's meat with the rest. Welcome, Joe. Dripping from the creek, I see. But I am so glad to see you alive.
Confirm that I really am alive, for I have some doubts about it.
Don't you know me then?
As well as I know myself, Noah, but are we not both in the other world?
Women, look about you. And you will find this to be the very room that we have inhabited for some time past. Behold, Joe, this pocket bottle. 1/2 of its contents I prescribe to your conviction and restoration.
Oh, well, now I return your congratulations, and I'm heartily glad to see you on this side of the grave. But Noah, what has become of our generals?
Well, killed or taken prisoners. But I suppose the latter. My poor General Sullivan, I quite lament him.
Mine is under the same predicament, but I have not a pity for Sterling. Nor should I love you very much if I thought you serious in your lamentation. For God's sakes, Noah, what happened to you to become the capacity of Sullivan's servant?
Without doubt, I might have started with a regiment and probably have been myself a general by this time. But I saw through their topsy-turvy schemes. Though I was obliged to go with the tide, I knew the post of honor would be the most private station. But Sullivan will be a loss to his family.
So will not Sterling. He will be a loss to nobody but those that find him. Had Sullivan any property?
Most excellent property, for he made a property of weakness and ignorance, and consequently had an extensive fund. But yours was a title general, and I suppose very full of property, as he has often declared he was full of principle.
His principle, Noah, has been for years past to withhold other people's property from them. It's a maxim with the Congress at Philadelphia that by the marvelous the vulgar are to be robbed of their reason. But heaven has rejected the sacrifice, so that the people may open their eyes and no longer be the dupes of their tyranny, deception, and bloodshed.
They are indeed such monopolizers of liberty. Oh, almighty disposer of human events, open the eyes of my deluded fellow subjects in this once happy country. Encourage them to a free exercise of that reason, which is the portion of every individual, that each may judge for himself. Then peace and order will smile triumphant over the rugged face of war and horror. The same hand that sows shall reap the field, and our vines and vineyards be our own.
The end. Thank you all so much for coming. Keep going for a little bit. I want a big round of applause for Austin Poplin as General Sullivan, and Gray Jones as Billy Lee and Betty, Mark Doss as Washington, Masha Bez as Remsen, Anna Maria Spy as Noah, and Paul Carlotto as Lord Sterling and Lady Gates. My name is Dylan Yates. Please subscribe to the Old Stone House social media, and please join us at the American Legion on 6th Street in just a few moments. There's free pizza and a cash bar. Oh, thank you to Sarah Mucho and the band, Kim Meyer and everybody else here. Thank you.